Galileo Galilei, also called the father of modern-day science. The guy that made countless discoveries about our universe with a telescope he invented himself. He reshaped science with his ideas, and he even invented the pendulum clock. Galileo was one of the most prominent men of his time, and he's still remembered to this day. Why is this? How is this? And most importantly, what can we learn from him? How did he manage to live life in such a way that people almost 400 years after his death in 1642 still remember him? I mean, sure, he was a smart guy, but that isn't all there is to it. There have been enough guys that are probably even smarter that are forgotten in history and that have never achieved anything great. So I'm gonna look at what lessons we can learn from Galileo's life that we can apply to our own lives and live a great, a successful, and fulfilling and happy life. I did the research and I got some answers for you. Galileo really thought deeply about his life and how to live it to the best of his abilities. He was very interested in learning and critical thinking. As he once said in one of his famous quotes, "Doubt is the father of invention." Critical thinking, thinking for himself, was really at the center of his core beliefs, even to the point where he started to question Aristotle's ideas. The ideas from Aristotle were the basis of science and philosophy in that time, and on top of that, Aristotle was a great hero to Galileo, and still he questioned all his ideas. And in testing these ideas, he actually overturned some of them because he found out some of them are wrong. And these new ideas are ideas we use today. Aristotle can be wrong, everybody can be wrong. And Galileo knew that. This is the first thing you can really take away from Galileo. Think for yourself. Question your teachers. We all have mentors, even if it's in real life, if it's a historical figure or it's some famous person on the internet. We all have teachers. And that's a good thing, because we live in a time where information is widespread. You can find any information from any person at any moment in time. This is amazing. But still, you need to question ideas and really be critical in your thinking. Don't just accept something for the truth just because the person who said it is a smart guy or you respect their ideas. Even the best of us get it wrong sometimes and have incomplete ideas. This isn't to say not to learn from anyone, not in the slightest. Because another important quote from Galileo goes like this: "I've never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn anything from him." If a man like Galileo thinks he can learn something from anyone, and remember this is 400 years ago, most people back then didn't even have schooling. Most of those people didn't even know how to read or write. So if one of the smartest men in history thinks he can learn something from those people back in those times, then you and I can definitely learn something from anyone we meet today. For every interaction you have, go in without your ego, be open to ideas, and maybe you learn something. Now for probably the biggest reason why Galileo was so popular in his time. He was unusually talented as a teacher and as a speaker. And that was actually only because he learned one simple truth. You cannot teach a man anything, you can only help him find it within himself. This mindset helped him teach his ideas to anyone around him. He didn't try to teach or show off how smart he was, he helped them find the truth about the thing he was talking about within themselves. This way people can actually understand and really internalize the ideas you're talking about. Helping them figure something out on their own, instead of just teaching it to them or just telling them, helps them understand and really grasp the subject. Otherwise their egos are just gonna get in the way. The same about discussions. I made a previous short about this. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Just really make them think that they know the answer because they thought of it, not because you told them to. So all these previous lessons are about thinking and teaching, and Galileo was really good at this, but he was also very strong socially. It is said that in his time very few people actually seemed to dislike him. He made a lot of high profile friends, and these friends actually helped him in tough times and in rough situations in his life. These are real friends. So this next lesson is very simple. Just be nice to anyone you meet. It's so simple. It will make the world a more beautiful place and your position in it better. But to say everyone liked Galileo would be a lie, because he was actually a very polarizing person. Especially some of his later ideas completely went against what the church was saying about the universe, which he famously got put on trial for. But Galileo struck a nice balance between daring and caution. He didn't want to go completely against the church because that would be stupid and he would just lose his life and his reputation. But he also wanted to tell the truth. And there's this very fine line between this, between daring to tell the truth and caution and not ruining your reputation and your life, where he found his way between the caution and daring. So he told the truth. He publicly shared his ideas and his theories. Ideas and theories he still remembered for today. Ideas and theories why he is still talked about today. But he managed to do it in such a way That what happened after this trial? He got put on house arrest in his friend's villa. I don't think that's too bad of a punishment, especially if you remember that he's remembered in every history book for these ideas he shared there. So the last lesson, be daring, speak your truth, be true to yourself, but do it in a smart way. Don't just make all these oppositions, don't antagonize people, do it in a way where you will win. Don't get into too much trouble, find the balance between caution and daring. Don't die for what you believe in, but also stand for what you believe in. I know it's a weird paradox, but this is something that you really should try to get right. This might sound vague or impossible, but really try to implement it in your life. You might be surprised of the results. Be better than you were yesterday. See you next time.